Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 29th. This is Anne-Marie. This is the Futures in 5. We're looking at 5 futures landscapes. I really try to get it under 5 minutes, but I can't sometimes. Today might be one of those days. Listen, we've got trade talks. We've got sanctions. We've got Brexit. We've got, oh my gosh, what else do we have? We've got reports that what the shutdown has done that are going to be coming in. We've got earnings that are both negative and positive, and we've got this big tight range. What do I see us doing? Trading from support to resistance. There are so many loose tentacles here that big money is not going to commit in any significant way until we resolve. Now, they can position here, but remember, the futures are used to hedge. And so they're positioning in their little spaces, and I don't mean little as in little, I mean little as in individual stocks and interests versus the broad market. And what they're going to do here is, as this moves up or down, they're going to engage after it resolves out of its region, so they can use it to hedge, to whether pack additional alpha or, cut down on how much loss they're experiencing. And right now, we're landlocked. Sideways action. We're going to look at this area right here, the 45 zone. We couldn't get above it yesterday. If we get up above it, hold it, pull back, and then still hold it, we're in good shape. Otherwise, we're likely to do just like yesterday, accelerate out and then fade. That's really what we're doing. These big motions. Look at this 4-hour formation. If I move this into one candlestick, I see literally something that's not doing much of anything, right? And that is what the broad market is doing right now across the board. This one, 67.15, chart could not get up over it. What are we doing today? Likely retracing motion. Support, resistance. That's what we're going to see. Apple reports after the close. We've got a tech-heavy week coming here. People are going to hold one way or another across the range. And either, you're playing the upside, or you follow things into their resistance zones, or you're waiting for the upside to begin to fade, and then you're following back down into support. These moving averages are flat. They've been flat for days. This momentum here looks almost the same as it does right now. It's just very, very landlocked. That's what we're going to see. YM really affected by Caterpillar, but as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it here, as I mentioned, a lot of these earnings that are moving up and down, either breaking down or breaking out, because the broad market looks like this, we're going to see a reversion to the mean for most of our products or instruments that we've seen accelerate a lot higher or move down a lot lower, because the broad market is telling us that that is not positioning for continuation. There's no tailwind, right? Everything is sitting in a landlocked fashion. This area we also could not get up and over by the morning. Yesterday, it broke all the way down. We've completely recaptured it. What are we doing here? Higher highs, higher lows, still landlocked with this area way up here, telling us that we've got some measure of resistance. Taking a look at the oil contract, I've drawn a very wide range here. But in general, if we take a look at this and we say, hey, I don't want to have so many lines. I don't care about that. We have a lot of lines here. The ones we're going to look at are these on the edges. These in the middle, really where we're trapped. A lot of people saying, hey, sanctions. That's not it at all. We're just moving in a range. The sanctions are not going to affect oil dramatically in this space. Just simply are not. It's not. Those sanctions are. You just have to read them. Okay. So here's what we have going on: flat action, resistance above, support below. Bigger time frames show us still holding higher lows. Tighter time frames like this one show us holding a relative range. And if this is a flag pattern, we do normally break out in the direction of the pole. That's going to give us noisy formations that could move back up into the 56 area. Lastly, we take a look at gold accelerating really sharply. I think this is a little bit of a squeeze action event, frankly, because 1314 and 1312, a very big number, rejecting the region right now. So what I anticipate is a test of this area. If it holds, we still have more upside action. If it fades, We're going to test the next region of support and bounce because this chart is very, very bullish. Look at the range of motion. This is our first time out of this entire piece, really, since this chart has been trading, right? Essentially, there's some very shallow motion to the left of us, but this is a breakout, and a breakout in regions that don't have a pure trend, particularly since the dollar is coming into major bounce area. That's very likely to reverse. This has been the Futures in 5.